Let's go ahead and begin on our backs. Bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Let the eyes close and just start to breathe slowly in and out. This is our time to draw our attentions inward and set our intention for our practice. Without heart, without intention infused into our breath and our movements, everything that we do on our mat is just fancy movements, gymnastics, stretches. But when we infuse that intention into our asana or posture, physical practice, that's what makes it yoga. So let's start by clearing the mind. Take 3 cleansing breaths. Take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Breath out. Continue to breathe deeply in and out through the nose. Setting an intention for this practice. Intentions can be as simple as just doing what you can, focusing on your breath, working on remaining present. Maybe there's something you want to add into your life, like peace, tranquility, courage, strength. Maybe there's something you're really needing to let go of. Some baggage you want to leave behind on your mat. So take that intention, plant it like a seed into your heart. Take a deep breath in to seal it in. Exhale out the mouth. Keep the eyes closed. Stretch your arms up and overhead. Stretch long through the feet like you're waking up for the very first time today. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, rounding out the low back. Rock a little bit side to side. Bring your arms to a T, or if you don't have space, bring your arms into a cactus position. Drop your knees over to the right for a very gentle twist. They don't have to touch the floor. Good. Take a breath in. Breathe into the spine. Inhale. Legs back up to center. Exhale. Knees over to the left. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, legs back up to center. Bring your right leg into your chest, extend your left leg long, give it a hug, circle out the right foot. Good, send your right foot up to the ceiling, interlace your hands behind the thigh, take a couple breaths here, warming up the hamstring. If you hear any ruckus going on, it's my dog, and I apologize. Good. From here, bend the leg, bring your arm to the inside of your right leg, grab the inside of your heel, draw the knee down and wide. Half happy baby pose. Opening up the hamstring, the hip, the inner thigh. Good, and let's switch sides. Bring the left leg in, give it a squeeze. Circle out the left foot, articulate through the toes. And then send your left leg straight up towards the ceiling, flex the foot. Just breathe into the back of the leg. We're not pulling, we're not forcing or tugging. Just letting the weight of the arms and gravity do the work. Just a little warm up. Good, left arm comes to the inside of the left leg, grab the inside of the heel. Couple breaths here in your half happy baby pose. Knee goes down, this is deep flexion of that left hip. Good. Take any deep, welcoming breaths that feel good. Part of why yoga is so fantastic, draw your knees into your chest, is because we give freedom to express ourselves through breath. Good. Hands behind the thighs, rock up and down the spine. Bring your feet on the ground. We're going to do really basic core warm-up that we do a lot in yoga. Coming into boat pose or navasana. Hands behind the thighs. Option A, with the feet touching or just grazing the floor. Option B, lift the feet. Option C, hands behind the low back, especially if you have low back injury or sensitivities, or bring the arms forward. On your inhale, lower halfway. You don't have to go far. Maybe you stop here. Maybe you stop here. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. Continue just like this. Breath in, breath out. We link breath to movements. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Good. Low belly draws in to support the low back. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise up, roll over your knees, find a tabletop position. From your tabletop, we're going to move through some postures called cat and cow. Tuck the toes. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the heart through the arms. Cow pose. Exhale, reverse it, chin to chest, push the floor away, round the spine up to the ceiling. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Good. Continue syncing your breath to your movement. If adding any organic or intuitive movement comes to you, you can. Doesn't matter what it looks like. No one else is around or judging you. Roll out the spine, the shoulders, the hips. Allow your breath to guide you. Good. One more round. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then inhale to a neutral table position. Good. Bring your hands a big step forward. Keep your hands as wide as your mat. Drop your chest and your ribs to the floor. Puppy pose. This is a great opener for the chest, the shoulders, the back. Reach through the fingertips as you slightly pull back with the hips, like you're trying to stretch out the spine with traction. Inhale, walk your hands back up to tabletop position. Inhale, right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Exhale, right arm threads underneath the left for thread the needle. Nice gentle twist in that puppy pose position. Use your left hand to press into the floor. Maybe bring your gaze up to the ceiling, getting a nice stretch through the back. Good. Next, breath in. Push down through the left hand. Reach the right hand back up to the thigh. Exhale, hand comes down. Other side, breath in. Left arm opens and twists. Exhale, thread the needle. Good. Use that right hand for that traction. Spin the chest open towards the ceiling. Inhale, press into your hand. Rise up, stretch to the left. Exhale, left hand down. Good. Let's move into a plank pose. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Pull your ribs and your belly up to the spine. So we're not arching the back here. We're nice and strong. Our core is supporting our back. Then step your left leg back and then your right. Nice and long. This is always a great pose to practice in front of a mirror so you can make sure that you're long from the crown of the head all the way to the heels. Good. We'll take just a few breaths here. Squeeze your legs towards one another, but feet stay hip-width distance apart. Heart pulls forward through the arms. We're not dropping the head down. We want to keep our energy moving forward. Good. Take a breath in. Exhale. Drop the knees to the mat. Find child's pose. So knees go as wide as your mat. Big toes touch. And sink the hips back. Reach the arms forward. Relax the forehead to the mat. Remembering that this is your practice. This may be your first yoga class ever. And it's not about what the postures look like. It's about what they feel like. And as long as you're feeling sensation, as long as you're getting feedback from your body to your brain, then you're doing yoga. As long as you're breathing and keeping that intention in your heart. Inhale, rise up to tabletop. Moving into our first downward facing dog of this practice. Fundamental posture in yoga. Fingers are spread super wide. Press down through your thumb and index mound of your hand. So you don't want to weight bear in the pinky side of your hand. Squeeze your forearms towards one another. Tuck your toes. Straighten the legs. And then press your chest back towards your feet. Don't focus on heels moving towards the ground. Allow your feet to be hip-width distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider. Now, if your shape looks a little bit more like this, that's okay. A lot of people do when they're first starting. What I want you to do, if you look a little bit more like this, I want you to step your feet in a little bit closer. I want you to bend your knees, and I want you to think about hugging your thighs to your belly as you press your chest back. So you might look a little bit more like this. And that's okay. Then you can start to focus on drawing the heels down, but don't straighten the legs. This should feel a lot better because you'll be lengthening through the spine. So go where it feels comfortable for you. Maybe it doesn't feel comfortable at all. That's okay. My very first yoga class, I'll never forget when the teacher said downward dog was your resting pose. I wanted to get up and leave because downward dog felt so excruciating right off the bat. So if it feels really weird or uncomfortable, that's normal. I mean, how often do you do this shape during the day? Probably not very often. Good. Keep pressing down through the thumb and index mound of your hand. You should feel your forearms really, really, really working here. That's what's magical about yoga is we use a lot of these fine-tuning muscles that we don't normally use through the day. Good. Take a breath in. Breath out. Push the floor away. Inhale, look forward between the hands. Exhale, take a few steps towards the top of your mat. Good. Soften the knees, relax the head, ragdoll. So when I say soften the knees, I don't mean be like this with the legs super straight. Bend the knees. Allow your belly to drape over the thighs. Good. Grab opposite elbow, sway side to side. Nod the whole torso, yes and no, giving the head a shake. Then on your inhale, bring your hands to your hips. Pull your navel to your spine. Push down through the feet to slowly rise up, coming to stand. Bring your hands to heart center. Pause, close the eyes. Come back to the intention you set for this practice. Good. Release the hands down. We're going to move through Sun Salutation A. Very simple and straightforward. A great way to move, get your heart rate up, get the body warm, and start to strengthen some of those muscles that we use a lot in yoga. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up to the ceiling. Pull your hands down through heart center. Exhale, soften the knees as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your fingertips to your shins. Bring your shoulders in line with your hips. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back to a plank. First one, drop the knees down. Inhale, keep your heart pulling forward. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades together as you lower down, chaturanga. Notice how the elbows are hugging against my ribs and they're not flared out like a push-up. Good. Lowering all the way to the belly. Keep your shoulders hugging together behind you. That way the shoulders never drop below the elbows. Untuck your toes. Inhale, press into the hands. Lift the chest. Maybe hover the hands. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands plant, tuck the toes. Roll over the knees. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath in your downward dog. Find that length in the spine. Bend the knees as much as you need. Press the floor away. Lift the hips up to the top of the room. Exhale. Bring your gaze forward and take a big step to the top of your mat. Inhale. Halfway lift. Fingertips to the shins. Heart pulls forward. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale. Root to rise. Push down through the heels to grow tall. Coming to stand, Tadasana mountain pose. Exhale, hands to your heart center and release. Good. We'll go through another one of those just a little bit faster. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins. Exhale, hands plants, plank pose. Inhale on your plank, maybe drop the knees. Exhale, shoulder blades squeeze together as you lower the pelvis down. Untuck the toes. Inhale, little cobra pose. Lift the chest, hover the hands. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Hips up and back to the ceiling, soften the knees, push the floor away. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, big step to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, soften the knees, push through the feet to rise, grow tall. Exhale, hands through heart center, and release. Good, we're going to make it a little more traditional. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, plank pose. Inhale in your plank pose, option to drop the knees. Exhale, lower halfway down. Halfway means elbows in line with the shoulders. Untuck the toes, drop the pelvis, little cobra pose, hands stay on the ground, lift a little higher. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to the top of your mat. Doesn't matter how many you need to take to get there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands through the heart. Good. Let's sync breath to movement. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Exhale, big step to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, rise. Exhale, hands to the heart, and release. Good. We're going to add on, doing a few lunges now. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the fingertips down, step the right leg back, drop the right knee down. Inhale, lift the arms, low lunge. Good. We're going to take a couple breaths here. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Now, in a low lunge, we don't want to be way down here sinking into the hips. You see how now I'm really arching in my back, my butt is sticking out, and my ribs are protruding forward, so my core isn't engaged. For this lunge, we want our back toes tucked. We want our hips somewhere over our knee. You can always pad the knee with a blanket if you have one. Hips are square, so left hip back, right hip forward. And then this way, with ourselves more stacked, you see how neutral my pelvis is. Belly pulls in, ribs back, arms reach up. If arms are getting tired, that's totally fine. Hands to heart center or hands to hips, or you can always do a cactus position with the hands. Wherever you go, take a breath in. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Good, we're going to move through a transition level 1 way. You're going to drop your knees down. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring your right foot to the top of your mat. Give it a little boost if it doesn't quite make it there. Good. Inhale, arms up, low lunge. Exhale. Find a little bit of that softness in the hips. Good. Couple breaths. Feel that lovely stretch through the front of the hip flexors on that left side. Front knee is somewhere over front ankle. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands plant, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, rise. Exhale, hands through the heart, and release. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left leg goes back, drop the left knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sink the hips just a little bit. The hip flexors are not meant to be super, super flexible, so we don't want to go super, super far here. We want to keep that pelvis neutral, ribs and belly in strong. Every yoga pose is a core pose if you really want it to be. Magnetize your feet together. Your front leg is squeezing to the back leg is squeezing to the front leg. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands plant, step back to plank, and then downward dog. Good, take a breath here. Exhale, drop the knees down. Inhale, right leg lifts. Sorry, that was my knee popping. Step the left foot forward. Low lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sink. Good. You see how little I sink there? This is where I rise up. I engage my belly, keep my pelvis nice and neutral, straight up and down, and then that's about as far as my hip flexors will let me go, and I still feel this great stretch. Take a breath in. Exhale, fingertips plant. Give yourself a step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good, speeding it up just a little bit. Same movements. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips plant, step the right leg back, drop the right knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sink it a little in the hips. Inhale, reach through your ring fingers, maybe look up. Exhale, hands plant, step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, breath out. Good. Either find your right leg to the top the way we did before, or another way to get there is inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, then you bend your left knee down and step it through. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, little sink. Breath in, reach up, maybe look up, maybe hands come together. Totally optional. Exhale, fingertips plant, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And release. Left side, breath in. And fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fingertips down, step the left leg back, drop the knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, settle in your lunge. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands plant, find downward dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, drop the right knee, step the leg through, give it a boost if you need. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, fingertips down and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Adding on one more round. We're just going to make it a little bit spicier, and then we're going to head to some cool down moves. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right leg back. Same position as you did before. Option to drop the knee or keep the knee lifted into a high lunge. This is called crescent lunge or Anjaneyasana. Take a look at my back foot. My heel is not down. My heel is stacked over the ball of the back foot. And notice how my back knee is bent. So I'm in this kind of 90-90 lunge here. This allows the pelvis to stay neutral. When we overextend that back leg, we start to lose the core. We start to lose the neutral pelvis. So for now, belly in, knee soft. Reach up. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Hands down. Step back. Plank pose. Hold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Option to drop the knees. Inhale, your back bend, cobra pose like we did before, or upward facing dog where your legs come off the floor, but pull your shoulders down and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, move to step it through. Bring your knee towards your nose. Come up to your right fingertips. Set the foot down. Give it a boost if it doesn't make it there. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, high or low lunge. Exhale, sink in. Find the softness and the sweetness in this pose. Pelvis is neutral, front knees over front ankle. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips down, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. I don't know about you, but I am sweating. Just because it's level 1 doesn't mean it's easy. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fingertips down, step the left leg back. Set yourself up first. Then when you're ready, inhale, arms up. Your Anjaneyasana, high or low lunge. Front knee over front ankle. Back knee bent. Back heel is tall over the ball of the foot. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands plant, step back to your plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. I honestly prefer cobra, but that's just me. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up high. Find the top of your mat with that left foot any way that works for you. I like to come to my fingertips and step the foot forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, settle into your lunge. Inhale, reach through the ring finger. Exhale, fingertips plant, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart, and release. Good. We're going to find the bottoms of our mat. We're just going to flow to downward dog to get there. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plants. Option to take a vinyasa flow if you'd like, or you could skip. Head straight to downward facing dog. Good. On your inhale, look forward, bend the knees, and drop the knees down. Good. We're going to come into our first restorative posture, a really common one we do in yoga called pigeon pose. So what you're going to do is, you can get there from downward dog, but because I need to explain, we're going to do it from tabletop today. You're going to bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist. So my knee is not in line with my wrist, my knee is not in line with my hip. My knee is to the outside of my wrist, so my right knee is touching the edge of my mat. Then you're going to take your shin bone and pivot it to any angle. Doesn't have to be 45, does not have to be 90 degrees, but any angle that feels comfortable for you. The more your heel is in towards your pelvis, the gentler this pose is going to be on your right hip. Good. Then you're going to start to lower the hips down by walking that back leg back. This is a pigeon pose stance. Now, option to take, if you have a block or a blanket or a pillow, anything you have nearby, you can take that block and bring it underneath that right hip to support you here if this is where you're at. Then you'll forward fold and rest the forehead down onto your forearms or a block, whatever you have. Just let the head relax. A lot of times I see students doing this, and this is a lot of pressure on the neck. So I would rather you rest the forehead on something. Take that stress out of the neck. Good. And while you all are here, I'm going to give a quick modification. If you have knee injuries and this posture is just not an option for you, same thing but on your back. Right ankle crosses over the left knee, and then pull the left leg in. Much gentler, less pressure on the knee. But you still get that great external rotation stretch. Good, we won't be here too long. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Take just a few more of those, nice and slow. Still keeping that same rhythm and that same tempo we've had with our breath all this class. Good, one more. Take a breath in. Exhale. Inhale, lift the head, lift the hands. Let's go back to a downward dog. Tuck your back toes. Push the floor away, round the spine, lift the hips, and then that leg goes up and back. Take some circles. And then lower the leg. Good. Option to get here through downward dog, lifting the left leg up, bringing the left knee to left wrist, or you can do it from tabletop as we did before. Remembering our hips are sisters and not twins, so they can feel vastly different. I know mine do. So only pivot your angle to a position that's comfortable on this side. Don't try and force it where it was before. Maybe support it with a prop. Take a breath in. Exhale, fold. Again, you can head to thread the needle on your back if this posture bothers your knees. Let's take 5 slow, steady breaths. Good. Inhale. Lift the head. Walk the torso upright. Tuck your back toes. You can move through tabletop, send the leg up and back, or through your downward dog. Good. Downward facing dog. We'll meet there. Last one of the practice. Take a breath in. Breath out. Just noticing the differences, how your down dog feels now compared to how it did at the very beginning of class. Look forward, drop the knees, come onto your back. Once on your back, draw your knees into your chest, bring your arms to a T or cactus. Option to bring the left leg over the right, crossing at the knees. Shift your hips to the left, drop your knees to the right. If this is too much for the back, just uncross the legs. Bring the knees in line with the hip. Take a breath in. Exhale. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale. Other side. You can cross the legs if you prefer. That's called Garuda or eagle leg variation. Or just stack the knees. Just because one is deeper doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the variation for you, even if you're flexible. I'm not a fan of Garuda legs, honestly, for me, but some people are. It's not always about thinking each variation is different or each variation is better or deeper or means you're stronger or more flexible. It's just choosing what works best for your body. There's a lot of things my body can do that just isn't my favorite. It just doesn't feel the best. It's about choosing what feels the best for you. Good. Inhale, come back up to center. Draw the knees into your chest. Either give yourself a hug, or if you'd like another happy baby, grabbing the outside or maybe the inside of the heels. I prefer the inside. Getting this last little bit of stretch in the hips and the legs. Preparing our bodies and our minds for Shavasana. Shavasana is our final resting pose where we begin to let go of the effort physically of the practice. We still keep the effort of the mind, relaxing with awareness, not letting our minds stray too far from the present. And it's where we just allow ourselves to rest after moving physically. A lot of people, when we first start yoga, start to, at least I did, we can question why we do Shavasana. I know I did. I used to skip Shavasana all the time. But if there's any posture I want you to do, it's Shavasana. So take a breath in. Exhale. Release the legs down. Get nice and comfortable. You can have the legs long. You can bring the feet as wide as your mat, letting the knees touch in this teepee position. You can take a hip opener. But find somewhere you can find total stillness for about 5 minutes. Knowing if you can't relax for just 5 minutes of your day, when can you relax? So this is your time. Treasure it and savor it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Shavasana. Without moving just yet, take a moment to feel what it feels like to be in your body. Having a deep moment of appreciation for what it can do. All the way from the simplest task as involuntary breath, voluntary heartbeat, all the way to this 40-minute practice you just did. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. Stretch the arms long up and overhead. Reach from your fingertips to your toes. Exhale, release the stretch. Roll over onto your favorite side. Pausing here in a nice curled up fetal position. One arm is a pillow, one hand flat on the earth. Taking a moment here to feel any shifts that have occurred mentally, physically, spiritually, energetically. And then having a moment of gratitude as you think of just one thing you feel thankful for. Something that's extra important to do every single day. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. Remembering that gratitude turns what we have into enough. And then once you've given thanks, slowly make your way up to a comfortable seat with the eyes closed. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Circle back to the intention you set for your practice 40 minutes ago. If that intention didn't happen, that's okay, but it was there, and that's what matters, is that it was intended, and that it existed, and that you put it into your practice. Let's seal in this practice we've done together with a breath. Take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Bring your thumbs to your third eye center. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu, which means may all beings everywhere be happy and free. And then together we'll bow and say namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. If this was your first yoga class you've ever done, I really hope you enjoyed it and I hope you'll stick around. Again, my name is Kaylee. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. It sounded like a voicemail message. You can find me on Instagram at Vegan Kaylee. You can see my website and all that good stuff down below. I have a Facebook thing and all that good stuff. All right, guys. Have a good one. Namaste.